That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Vicki Barker. The world's most vital waterway, the Strait of Hormuz, remains blocked by Iran this hour. In retaliation, Tehran says, for America's refusal to end its blockade of Iranian ships and ports. President Trump says,
we're talking to them. They wanted to close up the strait again, as they've been doing for years. And they can't blackmail us.
Pope Leo is in Angola telling CBS's Chris Livesay some of what he said recently was not meant to be a direct rebuttal of President Trump's broadsides at him.
Senior American diplomatic official told us talks to end the war.
Sorry about that. With time running out on the ceasefire clock.
Senior American diplomatic official told us talks to end the war between the U.S. and Iran could resume in the Pakistani capital Islamabad as early as Tuesday, a day ahead of when that 2-week ceasefire brokered by Pakistan is set to expire.
And here's Chris Livesay's report on Pope Leo.
Pope Leo insists he does not want to debate the president, but instead wants to preach the gospel of peace.
There's been a certain narrative that has not been accurate in all of its aspects, but because of the political situation created when on the first day of the trip, President of the United States made some comments about myself. It was looked at as if I was trying to debate the president.
The Pope stressed his focus on this trip to Africa is to be a pastor to Catholics, many of them reeling from hunger, political violence, and inequality. All of it marking a historic, unprecedented chapter in U.S. papal relations.
Now, when you purchase a carbon monoxide detector, you want it to work.
Amazon recently stopped selling one model, the Hembison KH158, after it failed to go off in homes with high levels of carbon monoxide. Several people, including 2 children, were hospitalized.
Time and time again, we have seen faulty CO detectors sold to consumers.
Gabe Knight with Consumer Reports says there is no mandatory federal safety standard for carbon monoxide detectors, allowing some third-party sellers to offer defective models.
Sometimes that seller disappears overnight.
She says to only buy carbon monoxide detectors labeled UL or ETL. Those have passed voluntary safety standards. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Police in Sacramento, California, got a phone call last night.
That call was from someone saying that they had seen several individuals in the park carrying what they believed to be concealed weapons. Our deputies started coming over, and at the same time, we got a follow-up call saying that there was possibly some type of fight occurring.
Shots fired, 4 wounded, hundreds of witnesses. So far, no arrests. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here?
How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-265-7681. 800-265-7681. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-265-7681. 1.
Meet the Catholic immigrant nun giving back to her community in a unique way.
This is the sound of Sister On Trans Ministry. The Vietnamese native uses an electric razor to give homeless people in Santa Barbara, California, free haircuts.
With the shampoo and haircuts, it makes them feel better and more confidence and happy.
The Catholic nun emphasizes that the homeless are, quote, also children of God. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
And finally, a married couple who created the first approved gene therapy for congenital blindness have been awarded the Oscar of Life Science, the Breakthrough Prize. Molecular biologist Jean Bennett and her ophthalmologist husband Albert McGuire share the $3 million prize with physician Catherine High for their 25-year-long project, which cures certain types of congenital blindness. I'm Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Obsessed with pizza? So are they at Slice on Broadway. The 2025 winner of World's Best Cheese Pizza Slice is right here in the Berg with 6 Pittsburgh locations, always serving delicious New York-style pizza, hoagies, and salads. Order yours today. Visit sliceonbroadway.com. Happy home improvement season from Allegiant Community Federal Credit Union. Home equity loan rates are as low as 5.25%. For full terms and to see if you qualify, visit allegiantfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by the NCUA. Schley Deck and Fence Company. Call today for an estimate on your rotten, rusted, paint chipping railings. Get your railings safe again. Call 412-515-6575.
Details at kdkaradio.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Clouds are favored today with an early shower or two, then another one late with a high of 52. With the risk for a shower still in place tonight, it looks cloudy and colder with a low of 32. Then still cold for tomorrow with some sun, the high 47. Before a warmer-up begins on Tuesday with sun much of the time, the high 64. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Rob Fracks on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
As we begin on this Sunday morning, the standoff over the Strait of Hormuz escalated again yesterday as Iran reversed its reopening of the crucial waterway and fired on ships attempting to pass in retaliation after the United States pressed ahead with its blockade of Iranian ports. The strait is closed until the U.S. blockade is lifted. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Navy said late last night, warning that no vessel should make any movement from its anchorage in the Persian Gulf and the Sea of Oman, and approaching the Strait of Hormuz will be considered as cooperation with the enemy and be targeted. Exhausting, to the point of no return. The president has no choice. You know it, and I know it. And yesterday, he was rattling his saber as he was going through a busy Saturday. Yeah, a man that works every day as president. No days off. He took time to simply say he will not be, nor will our country be bullied. Show me, Mr. President. Let me see it unfold. Live up to your reputation of being someone who can handle tough decisions by making tough decisions. There is no way we can let Iran continue to act the way they've been acting. This is ludicrous that we have been put in a situation that once again we are being held hostage by a ragtag government. And we are letting the 90 million people of Iran once again put up with this nonsense. So what do? We simply say, you have T-minus such and such a time before all you know what breaks out. And I think you can fill in the blanks. It's time for America to stand tall. It's time for America to be a part of the generation that has been a part of the greatest generation, meaning we baby boomers, the people that witnessed the greatness of the greatest generation, literally, that this nation has ever or will possibly ever see. No more trying to negotiate with criminals. These are criminals. These are people that have also funded terrorists who have committed ferocious acts against not just our country, but people around the world. It is put up or shut up time for the United States of America. This will make the 5th time in recent memory that Iran has literally poked the bear. And now it's time for us to growl and to fight back, because that's what we do in America. That's what the greatest generation did when tyranny was a part of the entire planet. We didn't sit back and let it happen. We took charge and finished it. And that's what America needs to do. Other big story. A flight headed to New York on Saturday landed at Pittsburgh International Airport following a reported threat on board. This according to an FBI spokesperson. The Allegheny County Police Bomb Squad responded to the airport at 11:47 after the United Flight 2092 from Chicago's O'Hare to New York LaGuardia landed in Pittsburgh. The bomb squad and the K-9 unit conducted a sweep of the aircraft, passengers, and luggage with negative results. Allegheny County Police said in a news release, FBI Special Agent Bomb Techs and other agents were on the ground coordinating with local authorities. FBI spokesperson Bradford Arick confirmed. United Airlines confirmed that 159 passengers on board and the plane, a Boeing 737, evacuated via slides. This is another indication that we live in a very scary time, but because of some very precise and quick work by the attendants and that brand that is United Airlines and the Pittsburgh Allegheny County Police, along with the Pittsburgh FBI, all's well that ends well. But how many more stories? And when I saw this break, New York Post last night, Fox, CBS, ABC, CNN, of course, Odyssey, I simply said, how much more do we need to prove to you that we have to be together in this country? We have to walk shoulder to shoulder, and we have to keep our head on a swivel, because there is nothing but pure evil that is out there. And with everything that's happening around the world, we need to do our due diligence and pay attention now more than ever what's happening in our country and in the world we call home. We are vulnerable, and people know it, and people are jealous because of who we are and the lives we have lived. Thank goodness that turned out to have a quiet, peaceful ending. But when I saw it, I said, here we go again. When that plane was en route and it landed because of that threat, it made me once again understand that the world is not a safe place to live. But again, thanks to United Airlines, their flight crew, and thanks to everybody at the Pittsburgh International Airport, Allegheny County Police, and obviously the Pittsburgh FBI for actually delivering once again in our time of need. And another reason for all of you to understand the importance of every single layer of security and law enforcement. But keep your head on a swivel. Be mindful of the world that we live in, and understand that there are a lot of people around the world who simply do not like us. Why? Because we do it right in America. Yeah, I saw that story late last night, and I thought, it's been a long time since we've had something like that happen. And I thought to myself, now more than ever, we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to what's happening in the world, and more importantly, we have to look out for one another. Because if we don't, nobody else will. We do. We have to look out for one another. All right, 866-391-1020, number to dial, and also NASCO Roofing Instant Access to our shows is a click away. Email us at instantAccess, KDKRadio.com. And don't forget, hey, if you know someone in your community who has done something extraordinary in the past year, nominate them now at KDKRadio.com to be honored at this year's Larry's Hometown Heroes. It's almost here, the night before, and here is your list of ticket drops for the night before, featuring Jason Aldean with John Morgan and Shane Prophet at the beautiful Rivers Casino on April 22nd. Now, tomorrow, April 20th, to start your week from 5 to 6 p.m., Ross Park Mall Drive, Pittsburgh. And then listen to this, April 21st from 4 to 5 p.m., you're going to want to get to Bowser Chevrolet of Monroeville, 1600 Golden Mile Highway, Monroeville. 25 pairs of tickets will be given out. 25 pairs. That's pretty cool. Don't forget, you can always listen to us at 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA, or on that very impressive Odyssey app, AUDACY. If You can also watch us online with our KDK video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to kdkradio.com and click on Watch KDK Radio Livestream. Or now you can just go to our KDK Radio YouTube page to watch everything that we are doing in the studio. 1 hour of open talk. Make it count. Get on the phone and give us a call, 866-391-1020. And don't forget, coming up shortly at 6:30, it's another edition of Catholic Education Plus with Father Tom Burke. And today he is featuring St. Benedict the Moore School in the historic Hill District. That's all still to come today with your Pratt Pack. We're here until 1. It's a Sunday morning on KDKA, 100.1 FM, AM 1020.
Your source for official traffic information. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
News Radio KDKA Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you, a Pittsburgh tradition. Malcolm and Russ scored for the Pens, but it wasn't enough as they lost Game 1 in their postseason matchup to the Flyers at PPG Paints Arena last night. The final was 3-2. Bucks lost 8-7 to Tampa. Two teams again today, PNC Park. First pitch, 135, 93-7 the Fan. And less than a week before the NFL draft and the curtain comes up in Pittsburgh, a blockbuster deal yesterday saw the Giants trading 3-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals in a deal that will include the 10th overall pick. That according to sources from the National Football League. The Giants now head into Thursday night with the 5th and 10th pick in the first round. Riverhounds defeated Detroit Highmark Stadium 2-1 last night, and through 3 rounds of the RBC Heritage, Matt Fitzpatrick has at 17 under. He has a 3-shot lead. More sports, 937thefan.com.
Don't know who to trust? Go with the sure thing. PJ Fitzpatrick has been your trusted roofer for 45 years. They've earned thousands of 5-star reviews and back all new roofs with a lifetime guarantee on materials and labor. The PJ Fitzpatrick team of experienced professionals install most roofs in just 1 day. Set up a free consultation this month to save thousands. Plus, they have a variety of financing packages that work with any budget. Don't wait. Visit trustpj.com today.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Here's a tale of Tina searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Tell Good RX Road and hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Hot foot it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. Call Term Busters for a quote, 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class, exam required to qualify. For details, call 1-800-908-7636. Paid for by Robert Livinger, Insurance Agent.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Where Pittsburgh comes to talk. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, let's go to Joanne Point Breeze to start the day with your Pratt Pack KDK. Good morning, Joanne.
Good morning, Rob. Hey, Rob, this was happening when you put your head in the sand and you think your man did this. He opened his big mouth about everything he was going to do, tried to tell the world to make him look wonderful. He put us in this situation. He should have went in there. I said he should have walked softly and carry a big stick. Instead, he went the other way. He was the bully. He's the one that tried to tell the whole world, look at me, we're so wonderful. He put us in this situation. It's not going to end well. And then he tried to send the flunkies, his vice president, in to try to do something when he seen it wasn't going well. And he knows it. He should have just went in, did what he had to do, and kept his big mouth shut. And I don't know. And you keep talking about how wonderful he is. Well, this is the result of him being so wonderful, him working all the time, him working his mouth all the time. So, if it's not going to end well, but it's because of your president. Thank you.
All right, Joanne. He's everybody's president, okay? And I think he's not handling this very well right now, if you want to know the truth. 866-391-1020. Here's Ken, Lower Borough. Good morning, Ken.
Oh, Joanne, spew some more hate. I love that. Go to church with that. Anyway, I'm more concerned right now about kitchen table issues at this point. While I'm out in the community 7 days a week, and a lot of people that are probably on this channel talking all day long, I do not have that kind of time. But that's why I'm here. I'm up, and nobody else is. But other than that, we need to look at our local governments here. What have our local governments done for us? And you yourself even pushed for Corey O'Connor. You got him in here, and what has he done? I mean, you got some money for some vehicles, and apparently the city was taking money from this fund, and the only way they stopped taking money is because the unions turned them in. And I can't figure that out. I thought that money was set aside specifically for vehicles. And it's not just Pittsburgh. It's my local governments here. We have Democrats that have done nothing since the 1970s.
I don't think Corey O'Connor's done a good job. I mean, everywhere he's been, people have a chance to talk to him. They see him. He's out helping. He's organizing. I mean, I think visibility is half the battle. Come on, Kenny.
Well, you know what? All I saw, what I'm seeing, because I don't go down there, I'm seeing on the news what happened to the $10 million for the vehicles. Was $3 million of it disappeared or something like that? I don't know.
No, listen, don't. No, everything's
That's
okay.
his administration, like it or not. He should have been overseeing that. He should have went and bought the vehicles. Money would have been gone. But
money's still there. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, these local governments since the 70s, they've done nothing for the people up here where I'm at, and they were all.
And where are you?
You're
in Lower Borough, right?
Yeah, we flipped Republican. But the thing about it, the guy that was the mayor now, he was a Democrat, so he's not helping us here. He's raising our school taxes. And New Ken, my God, the people in New Ken, Arnold, I mean, you have a tale of two cities. You have the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor. Well, they're raising garbage on people. They're raising school taxes. They have to rein this in. How are these cities keep raising taxes on some of the poorest people around? And that's what I'm getting up here. I mean, they can say everything's good and great and we're doing good. And I look at it this way. Shapiro, they're going to have to watch him now because they can't have him cutting ribbons at businesses that are going to be out of business in 6 to 8 months. So he's going to, like, arts things or nonprofits that they're going to be there because they're not really paying the taxes that regular businesses have to pay and have to deal with all the extras. But like I said, other than that, I see what's going on. This is what the people up here are complaining about, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, let me ask you something. I honestly think the only way that we get all governments back on solid ground, somebody's got to start bringing and promoting and courting manufacturing and corporate America. We need to be pushing for more cracker plants. We need to be pushing for more nuclear energy. Big projects like those data centers. There's now 4 or 5 in the works. They're going to employ thousands of people. I don't understand why. I mean, I can see it, and you're a guy that works for a living. The only way you bring the main street of any, I don't care if it's Lower Borough, New Kensington, I don't care if it's Monaca, I don't care where it is, only way you do it is by creating jobs that give people affordable paychecks. And we don't have that in America anymore. And we're trying to put America back together with Scotch tape and super glue. It's not going to work.
Well, when I was younger, like I said, I spew this constantly. When I was 18, 23 cents out of every dollar came out in taxes, which you can make it on that. It might be hard, but you can make it on that. Now we're over 50 cents on the dollar. I'm talking every tax. So it's not viable for people to actually come to the state of Pennsylvania. We are a flow-through state. People are born here. I mean, they leave because they can't make it here, and they do make it in other places. Even the natural gas that comes from the ground here, it's a flow-through state. It leaves this area. They sell it somewhere else. We need, to give a business 10 years tax incentives to come in. After the 10 years,
you can't do that. I agree with you on that.
After the 10 years, so why wouldn't you have a system here that's good for all, even businesses to come in? And it's just not there. It seems that my elderly population that I take or that I have for clients, they're preyed upon, and it's a shame. When you're older, you shouldn't be preyed upon by these governments.
Yeah, if you've worked your entire life and you have paid the freight, you should be taken care of when it comes to the government, and that's not really the case. Look what's happening in Allegheny County. Yesterday we talked about the Agency on Aging. They're going to be like $5 million short in their budget, and that's not going to be good.
And up here, like I said, and I think Plum's one of them. There's like a few cities up here. Lowbro's one of them. You sell your house, the city comes in, inspects your sewer. You have terracotta pipe. You gotta put a new sewer line in for 10 to 15 to 20,000. And here's the thing: you've paid for 30 or 40 years in taxes. I call what they're doing at this city an exit tax. So when you sell your house, you lose 20, 30 grand because you got to update it. Sell it as is. And that, like I said, these older people are preyed upon, and it's a shame. It's sad.
It is sad, and unless we do something to change it, hopefully we won't have to, but our family and friends and others are going to have to pick up the slack. And definitely when we are gone, our children and grandchildren, if you think it's bad now, it's going to be even worse. I got to tell you something else. I have hit some of the biggest, deepest potholes, not the PennDOT traveled roads, but the smaller communities, the river communities. I'm talking, I hit one last night that you would have thought it was a scene out of some combat movie from World War II. It was like I was in a Jeep and I went down and bam. It felt like it hit the bottom of my chassis. And this was a residential area that I travel all the time. And I'm thinking, where's my money going? Why aren't they fixing this stuff? And this happens every day. And there are certain roads that I travel that I have to basically look side mirror, rear view mirror, and I've got to weave through traffic like a running back because there are potholes literally just dotting the entire, whether it be the yellow line or the white passing line. It's horrible. Our roads are literally crumbling in front of our very eyes, and these aren't little potholes. These are massive crevices. I just don't understand why they're not doing more to fix this stuff other than they just don't have the money.
Yeah, you're right. We're one of the highest gas taxes. We shouldn't have a pothole. I went to a New Kensington council meeting once, and they had it advertised as a tax for for services or something like that, I think it was for roads. I'm sorry. So I went in and I said, you know what, you guys get tax money for the roads and bridges specifically. Oh, well, we use that for salt. And I said, but it says roads and bridges. And then they changed it and said it was a service tax for the police, and they hit them up an extra 10% on their city tax. So it's just, I guess it goes into a general fund, all this extra tax money. I don't know how I'd love to be the accountant there. I really would, just to see where the money goes. But you'd have a better chance of finding Jimmy Hoffa than to get anything out of some of these cities.
Listen, but I'm telling, and I appreciate the call. Thanks very much, Ken. These potholes, I don't know how you feel, but I don't think they've ever been this bad. Honestly, I'm talking multiple potholes. You may have like one on like a quarter of a mile or a mile stretch of highway because they do the best they can. But it's not the major roads that PennDOT takes care of. It's these smaller communities, these river communities that I'm in on a regular basis. Their main street is, it looks like a battlefield. These are massive holes. I don't even know how pedestrians maneuver around some of these streets. And I know tax dollars are really tight right now, but you got to find a way to fill these potholes. 866-391-1020. We've got Rob and Plum waiting. We are in open talk until 6. Tech Vibe Radio will be here shortly. And then St. Benedict the Moor, the Hill District, in the spotlight today with Father Tom Burke on Catholic Education Plus. And then Doug and Frank and everything, all today. KDKA with your Pratt Pack. Good morning.
In digital advertising, everyone talks about clicks, but clicks don't pay the bills. Sales do. Outcomes from Viant is a new way to advertise that prioritizes your bottom line. Our AI-driven technology looks past the noise to find the customers most likely to buy your product. It's smarter, faster, and designed for real-world results. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
For generations, you've listened to us in your kitchen, catching baseball games on your front porch, and ending your day as your bedtime buddy. Now, you can watch us every day on your TV with our new KDKA Radio YouTube page or by clicking on KDKARadio.com. It's presented by Metropolitan Windows. Same great content, more live visuals. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News brief. Iran says it's fired on an Indian-flagged vessel trying to cross the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump says
they wanted to close up the strait again, as they've been doing for years, and they can't blackmail us.
Pope Leo is in Angola telling CBS's Chris Livesay some of his recent remarks were not meant to be a direct rebuttal to President Trump's recent broadsides at him.
The Pope stressed his focus on this trip to Africa is to be a pastor to Catholics, many of them reeling from hunger, political violence, and inequality. All of it marking a historic, unprecedented chapter in U.S. papal relations.
Police in Sacramento, California got a phone call last night.
That call was from someone saying that they had seen several individuals in the park carrying what they believed to be concealed weapons. We got a follow-up call saying that there was possibly some type of fight occurring.
Shots fired, 4 wounded, hundreds of witnesses. So far, no arrests. CBS News Brief, I'm Vicki Barker.
The certified elder law attorneys at Julian Gray Associates understand the rules of long-term care and disability. They help families avoid mistakes and protect assets to maintain the best lifestyle options. You don't have to do this alone. Visit grayelderlaw.com.
When you invite a contractor into your home, you got to trust they know what they're doing. You want to feel good. That's why CertaPro Painters and me have gotten along for more than a decade. Hi, this is Larry Richard. Take advantage of getting the most professional job you can and know that each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your pre-estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, and take advantage of the spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th.
Keeping up with bills can be tough, but you don't have to do it alone. Duquesne Light Company's Customer Assistant Program helps income-qualified customers lower their monthly electric bills. The employees at Duquesne Light realize these are difficult times, and they're committed to supporting our communities. Applying is simple. Just visit DuquesneLight.com/CAP and apply online. Don't wait. See if you qualify today. At Duquesne Light Company, they are here to help when you need it most.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Watch for a shower or two early and late in the day today. Otherwise, generally cloudy with a high of 52. Then colder for tonight with another shower around late and a low of 32. That leads to tomorrow, which brings in some cold conditions with some sun and a high of 47. But warmer Tuesday with more sun around, high 64. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, get through the weekend, be back on Monday. But, when we launch on Monday, it'll be draft week. So I'll catch you then on Monday. Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6, KDK.
866-391-1020. You know, I hear that clip from the president at the bottom of the hour, that voice clip. It just doesn't do it for me anymore. He's not delivering. He's got to do something here. And there is no conversation needed when it comes to Iran. There just isn't. I mean, I have never been so entangled in emotions than I am with this story. And because what happens, I start thinking about all of the other stories prior to this. I start thinking about how we left Afghanistan after 20 years. I think about as a child trying to put a spin, meaning my parents and others, about patriotism in Vietnam when that war ended, and how grateful they were that I didn't have to go, but how shameful they felt that our country did not give these young men who became men when they left recently out of high school, ended up in Vietnam. Many did not come back. Those who did were scarred for life, were treated horribly. And it was supposed to be all about America, you know, and our soldiers returning home. But instead, the country made it into a political statement, and the soldiers never got their just desserts. They just didn't. And then, you know, I started to hear from that post-greatest generation that fought in World War II, those who fought in Korea. And they were not having a lot of choice words, in other words, just negative choice words about our country because of how they were treated and how they did not get the opportunity to win in North Korea. So I'm just saying, I thought we had a president here who was going to be pride personified, was going to be about this country, was going to talk about who we are as a nation and what made us great, as he would like to say, make us great again. It just didn't happen. And I thought Iran, that we were going to go in there for the greater good, to help the millions of people who literally were living in fear every day because of this regime, all of the families that have been affected going back to the late 70s. I mean, even the Shah of Iran, who did horrible things to the people of Iran, I kept thinking, this is a chance not only to help the people of Iran and that country, but also help the global economy because of the oil. It'll get out and it'll start being distributed the way it should be distributed, and it won't be used for blood money for people like Hezbollah and Hamas. And I just kept thinking, good, and that's a major problem in the Middle East. And maybe if we take the thorn out of the foot of the lion and we remove that regime, maybe things will calm down and get better in that part of the world, but it just didn't happen. And it's frustrating to me because I really thought this guy was going to deliver, but the more I have been witnessing now, I'm starting to realize that he's just like every other president. They do not control the country. They do not have the final say. You know, the whole saying of the buck stops here. You know, there have been comparisons to the Bay of Pigs, what happened with the Cuban Missile Crisis and what our president then, JFK, went through. Look, I even think JFK, who had the failed attempt going into Cuba, I think our military, honestly, if you think about it, and it's no fault of the men and women of the military, but I think every commander-in-chief since FDR passed away in his third term, we've tried to look at the world through rose-colored glasses, and we keep thinking, you know, we're going to show how strong we are, and we're going to lay the law down, and we're going to lead by righteousness. But when push comes to shove, we seem to kowtow. We basically bow down to the rhetoric that's been going on in the world, and I think we feel as though we owe the rest of the world an apology for like something we did that we didn't. I mean, we defeated Nazi Germany. We won in the European and Pacific theaters. We saved the world. And I know innocent people died back then and things were changed and never to return the same, ever in Europe and in that community that many of the people who now in second and third generations and fourth generations who have survived and only hearing the stories like I have deep feelings, and I get it. And you know, maybe they look at us with a little bit of jealousy because, you know, we were the victors. We are the ones that won. It's the last of the great world wars. I think it's one of the reasons why Putin doesn't like the United States, because I'm sure he doesn't like how certain things went down back in the day after the end of World War II, because he's a former KGB agent. The guy is all about Mother Russia. He lives his life full of anger. I mean, who else who would be considered? I mean, you think Elon Musk has money, and you think these other eccentric billion, soon-to-be trillionaires have money. This guy, Putin, from all intents purposes, lives like the richest man on the planet. The richest man on the planet. And you would think at his age and obviously some health scares and what he has gone through, that the last thing that he would be doing is wanting to go to war, and the possibility of a world war at that. Why would he want to do that? And he must be saying, where is the president that I knew? Where is the guy that, hey, I may not admit it, but down deep, the world knows that I have a little bit of admiration for this tough guy? What's Benjamin Netanyahu thinking right now? Do you think he would have given them this many reprieves? Absolutely not. And the reason that Israel is still an incredibly strong, free country, basically doing things the way they want to do them, because they don't throw out idle threats. They warn everyone, do not push. We will push back. This president is like not taking the bus home because he doesn't want a confrontation. That's right. He's not going through the alley after school because he doesn't want to fight. Look, I understand nobody wants to fight, but sooner or later you've got to stand up for what's right. And we're not standing up for what's right now. And I know I hear this all the time, certain things he doesn't want, but I'm starting to really believe the reason he is doing what he is doing is because of political pressure from his own party. I think they are concerned about the midterms. And I look, you don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I really believe that right now the Republicans are thinking more about life after President Trump, who will run in 2028. I believe that. And I'm starting to believe what people used to tell me, that he was nothing more than a vessel to get this mega or MAGA group in office. And then the Rubios would follow, the J.D. Vances would follow, but he would be the guy who would kind of get the ball rolling. And people told me about a year or so into his term, this second term, that things are going to start to go south in the wrong direction, off kilter, and they're going to swoop in and they're going to try to remove him. And I used to think, no way, no way, no way. But if you look at what he is doing right now, he is playing into the hands of the Democratic Party. And what will happen, and some people have said this, they'll start to apply pressure on him. He'll slowly back away. J.D. Vance will come out along with Marco Rubio, 1-2 punch, and they will be the voice of the party. The president will disappear, a lot of handshaking, glad-handing, White House events, that farewell tour will begin. And I think it'll be go time if the midterms go in the wrong direction. I really believe that. All right, Mary Hours, First Alert Forecast, KDKA. Rain, go away. I got used to the nice weather the last couple of days. So how long am I going to have to put up with that?
Oh, it'll be back soon. We do have some cold mornings, though. So today, we're only going to make it pretty much to the low mid-50s, and then lows this morning. It's getting a little bit chilly, but by the time we get to tomorrow morning, we're back to seeing lows into the upper 20s. So it's going to be pretty cold for the next couple of mornings, but Tuesday afternoon, we're back to the upper 60s with sunny skies. So it gets better quick.
I can live with that. Not that I have the wardrobe that I used to have, but, it's always like, do I take the sweaters and the overcoat to the dry cleaner? So some of it's already there. How much longer before you think I should just take the whole thing?
Take the whole thing to where again?
The dry cleaners.
Yes. Oh, I don't ever use a dry cleaner. I just throw my dresses in the wash, but I guess it's different for guys. I think after this, I know we've had several cold mornings, but I think we're kind of in the clear after this. We do have a freeze warning for tonight through tomorrow morning till 10, and then it's sunny. We have some showers around, but we're back to 80 on Friday.
Ooh, I like that. And that'll be
and that's draft.
Yeah, day 2 of the draft. From what I hear, draft day now, Mary, is supposed to be like 70 or so.
Yeah, sunny mid-70s. It's going to be good. So, I'm pretty sure that's going to stick too. And then the next chance of showers will be like late Friday night into early Saturday.
I can live with that. Well, listen, have a great draft week, and thank you once again. Enjoy some coffee and have a wonderful day down there in the Golden Triangle.
You too.
All right, there she goes. Mary Hours up at it early on a Sunday morning with us. You know, I was thinking about this yesterday. You know, it's time. I do not have the wardrobe I once had. It was ridiculous at one time. I mean, I really loved clothes. Now, you know, I have everything strategically in like one little walk-in closet. But when things need to go to the dry cleaner, I get them to the dry cleaner, get the plastic on them, and store them until next year. A couple of sweaters, an overcoat or two. Most of it's already been done. So if I'm going to have to tiptoe through some chilly temperatures over the next couple of days, that's exactly what I'm going to do, because I am not taking the plastic off and then having to take it back and pay for that wonderful process all over again. But it's nice to kind of know that you're spring and you're moving forward, the weather's going to stay warm, and to wake up in the morning with the birds singing and the sun coming through the windows, nothing quite like it. All right, short break. Lots of folks want to talk to me, and that's a good thing. Your Pratt Pack, KDKA. Good morning.
We're only 4 days until the draft. Everything you need to know surrounding the draft is right here. It's brought to you by Bill Few Associates Wealth Management, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA. News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you, a Pittsburgh tradition. Malcolm and Russ scored for the Pens, but it wasn't enough as they lost Game 1 in their postseason matchup to the Flyers at PPG Paints Arena last night. The final was 3-2. Bucks lost 8-7 to Tampa. Two teams again today, PNC Park. First pitch, 135, 93-7 the Fan. And less than a week before the NFL draft and the curtain comes up in Pittsburgh, a blockbuster deal yesterday saw the Giants trading 3-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals in a deal that will include the 10th overall pick. That according to sources from the National Football League. The Giants now head into Thursday night with the 5th and 10th pick in the first round. Riverhounds defeated Detroit Highmark Stadium 2-1 last night, and through 3 rounds of the RBC Heritage, Matt Fitzpatrick has at 17 under. He has a 3-shot lead. More sports, 937thefan.com.
Hey folks, it's Marty. NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader. Wow, they're good. They continue to exceed customer expectation. For instance, Charles from Bethel Park highly recommends NASCO. Charles was pleased with NASCO's exemplary customer service and the quality of their work. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Charles. Now's the time to get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO, NASCO.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, I had a tap dance there because I knew Mary would be calling, and I kept a couple of you people on hold because I didn't want to interrupt you once you got started. So now it's all yours to the top of the hour. Let's go to Rob in Plum. Rob, good morning, and thanks for hanging on.
Good morning, Rob. Yes, I totally agree with you. The potholes are ridiculous. The problem is that everything you keep on mentioning about we got to get manufactured. Those entrepreneurs, we have to support our entrepreneurs out there, like our inventors. There's nothing really out there showing us how we can invent items or anything like that. There's no stage out there where we can go and show products and stuff like that like we used to in the 50s and 60s. And the problem is with the potholes, it's the materials they're using. They're using cheap materials. They're cutting costs. Example was over here at Plumboro, their roof on their school. Because they cut costs on there and they cut the thing, the roof's leaking now. These are the problems we're having. They're cutting costs, and these are all Democratic places that are having all these major problems. And not only Democrat, but some Republicans area. But the cutting of the cost is the problem, Rob. They cut the cost to try and get the job done early and stuff like that. And the problem is that when you're cutting costs, you're sacrificing down the road. Now, none of these roads are guaranteed for 10 years. That's all along they're guaranteed to last on there for surfaces because of the expansion and contraction of the weather. A lot of people don't understand that on there. Now, we do have materials we could buy. They're more expensive. They could fix this. Now, number one, we should have our children out there looking at sciences and using the STEM project on how to fix a pothole correctly. Instead, they use that cheap stuff, which is just a patch. Those patches don't last very long because of the materials they're using. They're not using good materials on there. We have to get back to using good materials, getting good workmen out there. Instead, they hire like 10 guys and 2 guys work on there. If you ever seen anybody come out and do a road, there's about 10 of them. They have an engineer, they have this product, this person, and they come out and they just do a little patch job with that tar stuff, and it's not going to work. You know what I mean? I see the biggest problem out there right now is that the entrepreneurs, the money out there, isn't there for people to go and do stuff on there to get their products and services done right now. We need more people investing in our communities, and that's something they're just not doing. What they're doing is they're taking all the tax dollars and sending it to Harrisburg, and Harrisburg is only giving us like a penny or two out of there, and I agree. Josh Shapiro should have lowered our gas tax completely for a summer, for at least 6 months, till we got over this war. You know, he can do that easily with a stroke of the pen, and he can get our gas prices down to like $2.99 a gallon, where people are able to go out and enjoy the summer. That's what he should be doing. Instead, he's raising the taxes over there. Every time I turn around, everything I get is, "Oh, we're going to raise your taxes." Well, what are you getting for the raising of the taxes? Nothing. You're getting the same quality of work. You know, I mean, there's no good quality of work out there today. Every time I go anywhere, I have people call me every day saying, you know, they hired somebody and it broke. And I was like, well, that's not my problem. You know what I mean? I said, it's your issue, but I'll be over there to come and see what I can do. I mean, I get a call all the time. You know, this broke, that broke. Nothing's guaranteed to last more than 10 years. An example was, like, if you go get a hot water heater, they sell you a plan. They guarantee it for 9 months for a hot water heater now today. Who ever heard of a hot water heater for 9 months? If you don't buy the warranty for like $300, then you're just going to be replacing that hot water heater. I mean, these are examples of how far back our manufacturing has gone here.
Well, they better do something to fix these potholes, because we'll not be able to have any trucks traveling into these communities to do any manufacturing. It's ridiculous.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Make the people suffer, like in Russia. They made the people suffer, and the people respected it.
Look, I don't want to go that far into it, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's ridiculous. And what you pay for a beautiful automobile today, and for someone who likes to take care of their automobiles, you know, tires are important, and they're not cheap. So you know what? You got to start looking out for the people that are paying everyone's paycheck that works in these communities. Start filling these potholes up. Rob, great call. Got to move on. Let's get Georgie. One more call before the top of the hour, and he's in Clairton. How are your potholes in Clairton?
Well, I tell you, I do drive, and we talked a few months ago. I do drive for the CIA, correct?
Yes, you are a member of the CIA. We know that.
That's right. I'm a professional driver. I really am. I get my paychecks. I also get Social Security.
Wink, wink, hint, hint.
I get money from the government. No, but I'm out right now, normally, 5, 6 o'clock. And what I see here in the southern parts of Allegheny County, all the way up through maybe like on the right side of Oakland, the east end of Oakland, I guess I could say. Some of the new areas by Google, Friendship, all the South Negley, okay? That would be East Liberty, Larimer and South Larimer. Those streets with the cold patching that they've done, maybe since February, have held up. That's what I see. And I'm driving. I'm on these roads all day long. I do probably several 50-mile-an-hour, yeah, I go less than that, 50-mile trips. So I'm on 150 miles a day, plus my personal use in the evening. I am seeing these roads holding together, even where I instinctively know how to move out of the way. And these last two callers, they're Republican. They should be even smarter than Democrats. They should really realize, when you get the muscle memory in your brain where the potholes are and they're not there, something's working. This cold patch has worked. And they've got under a lot of ridicule, especially on this station, by some of the other afternoon chirpies that are on here. But I'm just telling you like it is, because I'm on the roads. I'm doing my thing. I'm taking care of some of our precious commodity on the roads, and I'm listening to KDKA. What more can I do?
Well, something has to be done. Look, not as I said, the roads that are being handled by PennDOT, the major like 376, east and west, I don't have an issue. But there are some rough patches there too. But some of these communities, and I've been for some reason over the last couple of weeks, I've been in a lot of these communities. Some I've never been in like years. And it's mind-boggling. I don't know how people keep their cars on the road. I mean, it's.
I'm on South Hills, Rob. South Hills, like I said, all the way up over. I think of Michael Bartley, because I'm up through Greenfield. I'm over by Shenley, and I'm over. I guess that's the outskirts of Squirrel Hill. Oh, you always say.
Yeah, but see now, this is the city, and that's why you got to start giving the city a round of applause. And you got Corey in there now. I'm not saying he's the single reason why. But it's another example. I don't have the problem in the city. And I don't care if it's Bloomfield, downtown, Liberty Avenue, you name it, Penn, Stanwyck, North Side, South Side, Brighton Heights. No, I've had no issues. McKees Rocks, I travel McKees Rocks 3-4 times a week. No problem. But I'm talking about Beaver County where I live. I hit one yesterday that was just absolutely atrocious. And I'm thinking to myself, you got kids out pedaling their bicycles. You got to be careful with this stuff. All right, George, thanks. Yeah, look, I know they're doing a great job, and they're working really hard. And we got a great borough working crew where I live in Monaca. They do wonderful stuff. But some of the outlying areas, and I know times are tough, but gee, unbelievable. You go out and get your car detailed. You do some things with it. You get an oil change. You're doing everything. Make sure you got the right air in your tires, this and that. And then you're out driving. Sun's coming down, and you're going the speed limit, kind of enjoying your day, and kaboom. And listen, as well as I do. You get a little scratch on your car. It's a lot of money. I actually have a little scratch on the back of my car, and I'm really type A about this stuff, but I don't want to spend the money to get it fixed. And it drives me crazy every time I wash it. But what's happening to the undercarriages of these cars because of these potholes? It's crazy. And I didn't mean to get into this today, but we take care of everything. And I've had a couple people come up to me of late and said, Rob, what about these potholes? What's going on here? And the sad thing, whatever they're doing in some of these smaller communities to patch them, you come by the very next day and the holes are there again. The patch is gone. We've had some really strange weather. Yesterday about 5 o'clock, when you have your flagpoles, your flag's completely drenched and wrapped around that pole, and it literally happens within, say, 20 minutes from the time that the sun was shining, there's something going on there. All right, now listen. Rob's coming up with the news, and then it's Tech Vibe Radio, Audrey Russo, and, of course, Jonathan Kirsting. And then at 6:30, St. Benedict the Moor up in that historic Hill District in the spotlight with Father Tom Burke. 7 o'clock, Doug is going to be here today, the organic gardener. And then Frank will drop by with the Coons Cooking Hour, 9 o'clock. Just Carlos, you know him, Greater Pitt Tree Service. We're going to talk about homeowners and that insurance situation. And when that tree lands in your yard, what do you do? We're going to talk all about that today, plus take your tree-related questions. And then at 10 o'clock, it's Accurate Solutions. And then the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, countdown to the draft, getting literally all fired up for it, just days away. We'll have Joe Giordano here to talk about the Pirates, who wrap up their series against Tampa Bay yesterday. They lost a tough one yesterday, 8-7. Talk about the Pens and Flyers. Pens lose game one of their postseason matchup 3-2. Malkin and Russ got goals for the Penguins. We'll be discussing that. We are also going to be talking a lot about the NFL today. And, of course, Coach Barkley will be back again, former Green Bay Packer offensive lineman, now the head football coach, Seneca Valley. And Ted Arnaud will be here, too, as well, along with Greg Diola. So, busy day. Sit back, relax, your Pratt Pack all the way until 1. And Rob Taylor, minutes away with that news at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning at KDKA. Good morning.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Pittsburgh Mayor Corey O'Connor. Very atypical with the NFL draft and all the things that are going on.
We're all excited. It's coming fast. But we also want Pittsburghers, and I say this wherever I go, this is also your city. This is your draft. We're going to have hundreds of thousands of people coming from across the country, but we want Pittsburghers to be ambassadors.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
I'm with Joe Potocznik from JP Roofing and Siding, a platinum preferred contractor from Owens Corning. Joe, what does that mean?
It's an elite status. We earn that by using Owens Corning products to qualify for the platinum preferred warranty. That's a 50-year warranty on the materials and 25-year on the labor, 100%.
That's the upper 1% in America after 45 years, Joe. Congratulations.
Thank you, Larry.
Call JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711.
Life is a way of throwing out curveballs that can make it feel impossible to get ahead. But at Peoples, we know that sometimes a helping hand can make all the difference. If you're struggling to make ends meet or just need a little support with your natural gas bills, we're here to help. Because let's face it, you have enough on your plate. Learn more about our customer assistance programs at peoples-gas.com/help.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 44 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office ruled the death of a 2-year-old a homicide. Sarah Dargy was found unresponsive back on April 7th at a home in the 100 block of McClellan Drive in Pleasant Hills. She died at UPMC Children's Hospital 3 days later. Medical examiner said Dargy died from ligature compression of the neck. That's a type of strangulation. No charges have been filed, but Allegheny County Police are investigating. Well, United Airlines flight from Chicago to New York made an emergency landing at Pittsburgh International Airport Saturday morning due to a, quote, possible security issue. When the plane landed around 11:45, many passengers quickly evacuated via emergency slides. There were 159 passengers and 6 crew members on board. No injuries were reported. Now, the FBI Pittsburgh office sent its special agent bomb techs and special agents to the scene. Allegheny County Police Bomb Squad said its explosive ordnance disposal team and canines conducted a sweep of the plane, the passengers, and luggage with negative results. And again, no injuries were reported. No injuries reported following a sizable house fire in McKees Rocks. That fire broke out Saturday afternoon around 4:45 at a home in the 300 block of Olivia Street. Right side of the home was charred by fire. Well, the woman who died in a shooting in Braddock early Saturday morning has been identified. Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office identified her as 26-year-old Quinn Vinay. Police say a suspect fired shots at a group of people from across the street around 2 o'clock Saturday morning near Club Elegance on Braddock Avenue. 3 people were shot. Vinay later died. 2 others were transported to the hospital. Police have not publicly identified a suspect as of yet. A person was stabbed after police say that person broke into a home in Brookline. Incident happened Saturday in the 2700 block of Waddington Avenue. Police say the person broke into a home through a screen door and then punched the homeowner. The homeowner then stabbed the person in the arm. An investigation revealed that the person who allegedly broke into the home was a neighbor, and it all stemmed over a dispute over money. Both people were taken to the hospital. The person who broke